Pleased to meet you. This is Fixed and Folded, the knife review channel for the casual knife collector. I am Cody and I'm going to be reviewing the QSP Harpyie extra large size folding knife. QSP is a brand manufacturing knives in China, and the ones that I've handled so far have been outstanding values for materials, fit and finish. So this one has both contour G10 and some carbon fiber here with S35 or 45, S35 VN blade steel, liner lock. You got some partially milled out liners. You can't really see on there. On the opposite side and on the liner lock side, they're not milled up. You've got some back spacer here, which might be polymer or G10, probably G10. You don't have a deep carry pocket clip, so this much is going to be poking out of your pocket if you use the clip. Hand comfort is excellent. Kind of a hand forward design, almost like a fencing foil feel. How when you have it in hand, it almost feels like it comes down a bit, so it seems to excel for saber grip. There's no hot spot with the clip here with my hand. You can see how the bill doesn't protrude past the spine here. It's a little bit below this, so it's kind of rounds off a bit here too, so it doesn't poke up. Yeah, comfortable in both hands. There's it's right side carry only. There's no screw holes for this side, so it's just a one position pocket clip. The liner deployment is perfect, really smooth. You have about, looking at the lockup, I'd say you've got about 40% lockup. So it's secure. You've got, in terms of handle jimping, well, you've got a little jimping on the blade, which is mild. You can feel it. It provides some traction, but it's going to be more beneficial in bare hands than it would be with gloves. And then you have some jimping on the back spacer, which will help a little bit for traction. You don't have any effective jimping on the liner lock for traction, but the jimping does benefit accessing the liner lock for opening and closing. So the jimping is like inside the liner. It doesn't protrude outside. It's actually effectively smooth when you, smooth to the touch for grip. I'd say grip still feels secure. It doesn't feel jimping heavy, but just the shape when you've got your finger choil here with this indent here too, those alone provide decent grip, as well as the thickness of the handle, which is on the thick side. I mean, I'll compare this with a really thin, extremely thin handle on the Benchmade bug out. This is definitely much thinner than normal, but you can see this thing is on the thick side. So it doesn't feel blocky because all the edges are rounded off. So yeah, feels good. You can feel the clip here, but it's not a hot spot. The blade thickness is on the thick side. Look at the spine there. It's a full width until the last quarter, where it then tapers off to a fine point. This is a high saber grind with an unsharpened swedge on the top, and you have a fuller, a stylized fuller in the middle there to reduce weight and not compromising strength of the blade. So design is subjective. I think it's one of those animal shapes. If you're, it's kind of flowing looking. Maybe it resembles like a killer whale or bird-like too. It's called the Harpyie, so probably inspired by the Harpy eagle. The spelling is unusual. Maybe Harpy eagle is spelled the same way. It's Harpyie. And in terms of actual utility, this works very well. Blade steel S35VN. So materials, this is $115 Canadian on bladescanada.com, and it's hard to match that price for S35VN, G10 carbon fiber, and this level of fit and finish. Blade perfectly centered out of the box. The action on the flipper tab is really smooth. There's no grit in the deployment, and the liner lock itself is also smooth. Just feels really dialed in. The tuning is excellent. Comfort on the flipper tab. There's some really minor jimping that I think is just mostly for aesthetics. You can see here it doesn't. The actual contact point on the finger is right at the end here, so this actually doesn't come into play. It's not at all a push button deployment. It's entirely a light switch. This motion deployment, and it works really well. Can I do it this way? Yep. I think straight up is good. So the implementation of design is excellent. I'm trying to think if this is a hotspot at all. It's a minor complaint that I wish this was rounded off a little more, because all the pressure goes right to the tip. It's rounded, but it's almost a hot spot. I think multiple times deploying this, you'd get a red spot on your finger, some irritation. But just to use it once in a while for around out and about opening stuff, it's not going to be a hot spot. So I'll say that's a minor issue, that over time this will become a bit of a hot spot. This probably runs on, I'm not sure if this runs on washers or bearings. I'll get my flashlight. This runs on bearings, ball bearings. Really smooth, really minimal effort to open and close, but you do have a detent for opening, so that it just feels high quality. It comes down to, this is going to fit also a lot of hand types from medium to double extra large. I have extra large hands, and there's enough space there. If I were to wear gloves, this would still fit comfortably. So if you have double XL hands without gloves, this will still fit you, but it's such a casual handle design that this is going to fit a lot of hand types comfortably. Again, this is an extra large knife size, and so factor that into your purchase. I'll just compare with a medium sized knife and another extra large knife. Benchmade bug out. You can still see I have some bit of handle poking out the back and the front. So as a medium sized knife, this is still, I can still have full hand purchase on here. This is significantly bigger. A little bit more handle real estate and much longer blade. And then my other extra large knife, CJRB Pyrite L. Basically the same. Blade length is the same, and you get a little bit more handle length with the CJRB. Both extra large knives. This has a thin EDC lightweight design to it, and this one is more robust. You can probably do more heavy duty work with this if you have to. It feels really secure and sturdy. So it just comes down to, I mean, $115 for S35 G10 carbon fiber. That's a good price. It just comes down to if you like this design or not. If the styling appeals to you, this is an outstanding value of a knife. If the styling, if you're kind of iffy about it or you don't like it, don't get this. Your opinion on it won't change. In terms of piercing and slicing, it's very good. The grind is perfectly even from tip to base. The cutting edge is perfectly even. You have some really beautiful machine lines, almost like a compact disc where it's almost rainbowy. Probably can't see with my crappy phone, but the machining lines that come down from where the edge, where the bevel begins, for the primary bevel begins from the spine down here, and then you get your cutting edge. That's really beautiful finish. I call it a machine, high gloss machine finish. QSP Harpyie, definitely available on bladescanada.com, $115 Canadian, and it's a good knife. What do I rate this? What grade am I going to give this? Man, hard not to give this really high grades. I'm going to give this an A. This would be an A plus if the flipper tab was rounded off a little bit more, but definitely a solid A rating. All right, that concludes my review. QSP Harpyie, made in China. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.